हेलो, हाउ आर यू? आज हम यहाँ मौजूद हैं और मेरा नाम शेख हसन मेहताब और हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं पाकिस्तान के नामवर एंटरप्रेन्योर और बहुत सारी बड़ी यूथ की जो है वो एक इंस्पिरेशन हम सब के लिए सलमान लखानी साहब हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं। थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग अस।
यू वेलकम।
तो यहाँ पे बैठने का मकसद सिर्फ ये था कि मैं जैसे कि एक शख्स छोटा सा कि जब वो अपना एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की मंजिलों पे जाना शुरू करता है और जब वो बिज़नेस करने की कोशिश करता है, बिज़नेस स्टार्ट करता है, तो उसकी जर्नी के अंदर बड़ी प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं और हर उसको एवरी टाइम कोई ना कोई एक उसको सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत होती है कि जो है ना कोई इसको समझाए या कोई इसको जहाँ जहाँ उसकी प्रॉब्लम्स आनी है वो किसी से शेयर करके पूछ ले। तो आज यहाँ बैठने का मकसद मेरा यही था कि मैं आपसे कुछ सवालात करूँ आपकी लाइफ के हवाले से, बिज़नेस के हवाले से कि किस स्टेज के ऊपर कौन सी प्रॉब्लम आनी होती है, हमने उसको किस तरह फेस करना है। तो आप रेडी हैं इस चीज़ के लिए? मैं
Yes,
बिल्कुल
sir.
स्टार्ट करूँ?
Thank you so much for coming, and please go ahead, and I will love to answer whatever you have. So, yeah.
थैंक यू सो मच। अच्छा, सबसे पहले तो मैं ये पूछना चाहूँगा कि जब आप कोई भी चीज़ स्टार्ट करते हैं तो इसके पीछे ना विजन होता है कोई ना कोई जो है ना आप एक बड़ी वाय होता है। मैं बुक्स पढ़ता हूँ उसके अंदर कहते हैं कि कोई चीज़ जब लॉन्गर रन चलती है तो उसके पीछे कोई ना कोई वाय होता है जो कि इसको एक लॉन्गर टर्म तक इसको चलाए रखता है। तो मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा कि आपके लिए वो वाय क्या था या आपके लिए वो विज़न क्या था कि आपने माशाल्लाह जो है इतना अरसा आपने जो है उसको स्ट्रगल किया, माशाल्लाह बहुत वेल ऑफ चीज़ें हैं, तो आपने किस तरह इस चीज़ को आगाज़ किया था?
Starting was basically when I was working for US companies. So I found that they have a lot of especially in my industry, technology, software. There are a lot of demands, and while working with them, I had an idea of their culture, their mindset, and
Okay.
how they talk, how they do things. So, and one thing I figured it out that while sitting, the people who are in Pakistan are not that well off. Especially, I'm talking about the technology, and I'm talking about like 2008. So it was
Okay.
a different world at that time. So I found that I might can provide a solution where, since I know the industry, since I know the people, their mindset and culture, I can be a catalyst to help and
Okay.
liaison between the people who have I won't say the weakness, but that's how we brought up, that we don't really speak good English, or we
Yeah.
can understand their accents
Accents.
and their culture and whatnot. So I thought at that time that I might can take that responsibility, and let's build a company where we can provide all the solution in the software industry specifically.
Okay.
And that's how it all started. The vision was very clear. I mean, I had this in my mind that building software, building product is always my passion. So that is where I see my future, and that is where I see the company's vision was when it
Okay.
initially started. So I will remain in that particular era, that where I would say that the era of the people were not very, entrepreneurship was not there.
Okay.
It wasn't
Yeah.
the everyone were talking about what the fintech is, what blockchain is. It was
Yeah.
very old fashioned, where we used to build websites and social media
Designing.
applications and some graphic design and those stuff. Today the things have been changed, but at that time it was very few, I would say lingos or keywords were there that probably people used to inspire. So I thought I might can help. I can build a company where we can provide solutions to US people and any part of the world, and that's how it started. The vision was very clear. I was going to provide solutions, and I know I can make money out of it.
ओके। सो इस होता ही है कि जब आप चीज़ स्टार्ट करते हैं तो आपके पास दूसरे ऑप्शंस भी होते हैं। आप सोचते हैं कि यार अगर इसमें फेल हो गया तो मैं ये कर लूँगा, या सेकंड ऑप्शंस होते हैं, थर्ड ऑप्शंस होते हैं। तो इज़ देयर एनी ऑप्शन फॉर यू कि जब आपने इस चीज़ को आगाज़ किया था तो आपने सोचा था कि कभी एक ऐसा वक्त आएगा कि नहीं चला अगर कुछ, या नहीं जो है वो चीज़ें हो सकी तो मैं कुछ और कर लूँगा?
This is the question I normally basically I heard from everyone.
Okay.
So for me, the way I see failure is something. Uh, Failure is part of the game, but giving up is not part of the game. If you will going to give up, that is where you fail. If you are working and striving for something and you are getting some ups and downs, it's fine. You learn one thing or two, and that's how it works. My whole, I mean, so many times I have failed. So many businesses, or I would say small companies I have started, didn't work out for whatever reason. So that's how it works. But a calculated risk taker, you has to be an entrepreneur or business guy. You should understand this. Without taking a risk, you cannot. I mean, you cannot cross the road without taking a risk. That's how it is. And I mean, the whole thing, which I believe is about when you give up. Don't give up. That's the whole point. I mean, if you get failed, maybe you can things can pivot the things. And if something is not working out, you maybe you can sit with your people, come up with a better idea, and pivot it. And that's how I've done so many times. So failure is not something I have seen. I have seen, if you can say, so-called failures, but I would say these are more of experiments.
Okay. तो अब होता ये है कि जब आप किसी चीज़ को आगाज़ करते हैं, जब आप जैसे आपने कहा कि एक्सपेरिमेंट्स होते हैं और इसमें इंसान की होप का फैक्टर भी डाउन होता है, तो उस टाइम के ऊपर क्या आपके लिए मोटिवेशन की सोर्स रहती है, या क्या आपके लिए राइट सोर्स ऑफ मोटिवेशन होता है कि जो कि आपको चलाए रखे, जो कि आपको रुकने ना दे? तो ऐसा होता है कि इंसान डाउन फील करता है, या ऐसे आपके इर्द गिर्द रिलेशनशिप्स ऐसे होते हैं कि जो कि आपको सपोर्ट कर रहे होते हैं? मुझे बहुत कम मिलते हैं जब आप इस लेवल के ऊपर होते हो कि तो बड़ी कम सोर्सेज होती हैं जहाँ से मोटिवेशन मिले। तो आपने अंदर ही जो है वो मेरे ख्याल से कोई ना कोई रीज़न होता है, कोई ना कोई मोटिवेशन की सोर्स होती है। तो आपके लिए ऐसे वक्त आए होंगे बहुत सारे, तो आपने उसको कैसे जो है ना वो टैकल किया, और क्या चीज़ आपके लिए मोटिवेशन रहती थी उस टाइम?
Yeah, I agree with this. The motivation, primarily, the way I see, I don't know, people have different motivation things and look for motivational speakers and whatnot. So that's not, no single motivational speaker have ever inspired me in my entire life. I might can be inspired by few, I can name those, maybe some speeches of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. But I never been inspired by any motivational speaker, local or international. I've seen so many. So yes, I agree, it is from inside. But you have to understand one thing, that what actually your goal is. There is no such thing like an ultimate goal. I never had this goal that I will going to build this company out of this way, and we will going to reach here or there or whatever. The entire motivation for me is the process which I am into, which is I am a part of. If I get failed or success, I do enjoy my success like everyone else, and I do feel about my failures as well. But the main fun part is that process, and that is the motivation for me. Today, if you ask me what is the best thing you do in your entire day, that is basically the time I spend in my company, with my people, and that's the best thing. I mean, that's the fun part. I mean, that's the motivation. That's keep me alive actually. So that's how I see it. It's inside and it's a process. It's not something like you make a goal that I will going to build a house or buy this car or what car. You will going to get it eventually. But that was never, the goal for me. I never planned anything like that I will going to reach here or reach there. Obviously, I do plan. Planning is important, but that goal is intact with the company, not with my personal goals, what I want to do. I want to build house or maybe buy cars or whatnot. So I see the basic motivation comes from the entire process, which you spend time within the company with your people and keep working and thriving for the system or for the entire organization where you build a team, people, careers, and that's how it works.
Okay. अब नेक्स्ट मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आती है कि जब आप एक अकेले होते हो, जब आप छोटी कंपनी होती है, तो आपको उस टाइम आपके पास एचआर नहीं होती है, आपको सिस्टम्स बनाने होते हैं, आपने जो है वो एक वर्क फ्लो बनाना होता है। तो अब जब वो किस तरह हम जो है बिल्ड करते हैं इनिशियली, और वो उसके प्रोसेसेस क्या हैं, या हम किस तरह जो है वो सिस्टम्स बनाते हैं, एक जो है वो एक बेहतर एक माहौल क्रिएट करना और सिस्टम क्रिएट करना, उसको आप किस तरह देखते हैं, वो किस तरह क्रिएट किया जाता है एक न्यू एंटरप्रेन्योर के लिए?
I mean, there is, if you're starting any company or any business, there are few basic components. Those need to be identified. Marketing is one, sales is one, production is the critical and most important. I normally say it's the backbone of the company, and a few more things. Then just if you identify these 3-4 things, and initially when you're building this, you are basically going to take all these hats one by one, and you have to act as an HR, you might have to act as an sales guy, and that's how I started. I used to do sales, I did a lot of hirings, I did a lot of marketing, designing, coding, and all those things, and that's how it started. But once it starts, then you will keep improving, making system more, giving more opportunity to people who can take from there. So that's how it starts. But initially there is very basic components. If you know the basics of business, how you're going to generate leads, how you're going to what will be your pitch, so once this will be converted, how you're going to build that product. So that's primarily you do. It's don't go deep into it. You need an HR, you need huge QA team for whatever reason, you need a marketing team. We have like today 30 plus people maybe in just marketing, and initially it was just me. So that's how it is.
Okay, so जब आप अपने बात करी कि आपको जो है वो HR कितना फील करना पड़ता है, HR के आप जो है बेसिक आपने स्टार्टिंग में देखने पड़ते हैं खुद से, तो आप बिलफर्स्ट कहीं प्रॉब्लम में कहीं फंसते हैं, तो आपकी नॉलेज की सोर्स क्या होती थी? आप जहाँ से नॉलेज को जो है ना वो गेन करते हैं, बुक्स पढ़ते थे, आप साथ में बुक्स भी पढ़ते थे, या फिर जो है वो गूगल के ऊपर किस तरह जो है ना वो आप प्रॉब्लम के सॉल्यूशंस को आप जो है ना वो सॉर्ट आउट करते थे और जो है ना उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करते थे?
Normally I don't read books, by the way. I am not unfortunately never been a good reader, but I just talk to my people and take ideas from within the company and ask for their help, and I have seen that there are some very good ideas come from the town, and that helped me a lot, and that's how I do. I mean, it's depend what is the situation, and most of the time I have seen that you listen all the parties, use your brand, and with your wisdom take a decision. Speak to your people, because whatever they're saying you have to listen. That's what the role of a CEO.
Okay. अच्छा सलमान भाई, एक बड़ा मैं इसको बड़ा क्रूशल इसको कहता हूँ, और मैं ज़्यादातर लोगों से सवाल भी करता हूँ, डिसीजन लेने का आपका क्या तरीका है? क्योंकि मुझे लगता है पूरी का पूरा सिस्टम जो है, कोई भी चीज़ बिल्ड होती है वो डिसीजंस पे होती है इंसान के, तो वो डिसीजंस को आप किस तरह देखते हैं और किस तरह डिसीजंस को है ना वो आप लेते हैं?
Primarily, if you ask me today, so decisions are made on the data and stats. So we have a lot of case studies, a lot of data for each and everything. So we could have case study in the past or whatever. So we based on that today to take the decisions. Otherwise, it's mostly the wisdom, the whatever you are trying to do. If there are problems, you see, look around, maybe Google it, and then get some feedback. And based on Google will going to provide you. I'm talking about my time. I'm talking about like 13 years ago. At that point, Google had more information about what happening in United States. or what happening maybe in Europe, or I would say Western part of the world. Today we have some case studies based in India, Pakistan, which we can relate at least. So we can help from Google online. That's how it is. Decisions supposed to be based on some story, some data, some analysis, some analytics, some stats. That's always puts you in the less risk. Risk is still there, but that's less compared.
और ऐसा होता है कि आपको किसी मेंटोर की ज़रूरत पड़ी अब तक, और कोई मेंटोर आपके साथ रहा हो जिसने आपको जो है वो आप उनसे गाइडेंस भी लेते रहे हो कि मैं किस तरह करूँ, या फिर कोई प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं तो उनसे डिस्कस करते हो, या फिर आपने टीम के साथ ही बैठ के ज़्यादा बेहतर समझा?
I have done with my internal teams, and apparently not much. I mean, I used to work for a company in United States. The CEO Richard Pollock was one of my mentor, but I wouldn't say one of. Actually, he is the only, and never been inspired by anyone else. So that's how it is. It's not something which he was doing actually a mentoring, but I used to like this style, the how he used to run the company, and I tried that. I normally believe in this. Maybe this is the question for my people, but I normally believe I have tried to be a CEO like normally you see in United States, where very open culture, no CEO office. Anyone can just grab me from anywhere and can send me an email or can contact me on Slack or Skype or whatever. And I love to talk, love to answer them, and try to sit with them and work it out one way or other. So
okay. अच्छा, अब जब आप आगे बढ़ते हैं तो टीम्स बनती हैं और जो है ना हायरिंग होती है, ये सब चीज़ें होती हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि इनिशियल डेज़ के अंदर आप क्या पहले चीज़ों पे फोकस करते थे? कि मैं, क्योंकि इनिशियल डेज़ में आपकी मेरे ख्याल से हायरिंग की जो थोड़ी सी साइकी होती है वो डिफरेंट होती है। फिर जब कंपनी एक बिल्ड हो जाती है, सिस्टम्स बन जाते हैं, तो फिर एचआर इन्वॉल्व हो जाती है, सारी चीज़ें सिस्टम्स में आ जाती हैं। तो आपकी क्या वो चीज़ होती है जिसको आप देख के हायरिंग जो है?
Makes sense. So initially when you start the company or starting any business, hiring is you have to think twice, or I would say thrice. If something you think that one guy can manage 2 or 3 things, give it to him. That's how we started. Unless you have funding. If you don't have, you have to hire people who are very motivated, very energetic, and they can work for the company and for you, and while wearing different hats, and even you try as much as you can. As an entrepreneur, I used to work a lot at that time. I still remember I didn't sleep for 72 hours just for working, and that's how it started. So I used to do a lot of work at that time, and if you are I would say that the first marriage, or you have to sleep with your business, and if you're ready for this, then you might can get whatever you want.
क्योंकि मैं इसको फील कर सकता हूँ, बिकॉज मैंने भी जो अभी अपनी कंपनी स्टार्ट करी है, जो ई कॉमर्स की एजेंसी है, जो कि बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट की जो है ना हम सर्विसेज देते हैं, इन्वेस्टर्स होते हैं हमारे पास, तो मेरे पास 8 से 9 लोग हैं। तो मुझे इस चीज़ मतलब मैं बड़ा आपको फील भी कर सकता हूँ, समझ भी सकता हूँ बहुत बेहतर अंदाज में, और यहाँ बैठने की वजह भी यही थी कि उस टाइम को मैं समझूं, क्योंकि मेरे ख्याल से आप भी कभी इस वक्त में ऐसे होंगे, और जो है ना
two things is very important. You have to do a lot of work in different capacity. 1 thing, 2 thing, 3 thing, and whatever maximum you can, and you keep your reward minimum. Unless I had 10 resources, my salary was the least out of those 10.
Oh.
And that's how I built the company. Today, I am probably getting more than anyone else. I probably not one of them even getting half of what I am getting. But that's one thing. The way it started, if I had an employee who was getting like 10,000 rupees, I kept for myself maybe 8,000, the lowest. And I'm including the office boys as well. So I never had office boy, by the way, at that time, but office boys and all these, I would say luxury things started after 2-3 years.
लॉन्ग लास्टिंग ग्रोइंग टीम का कोई फॉर्मूला आपके पास कि आप जो है वो बिहेवियर्स के अंदर या आप ट्रेनिंग्स देते हैं या फिर जो है टीम को किस तरह जो है ना वो लॉन्ग लास्टिंग और एक बेहतर टीम की शक्ल इख्तियार रहती है?
After spending so many years in the industry, I think the primarily I figured out a very basic thing about the hiring. There are 3 words. One is integrity. There is no compromise in it. Second is an energy. There is no compromise in it. And the third one is intelligence. This is something, it depends on the work. I mean, you don't need very intelligent people for, few things which are not that important. So these 3 criterias, if you hire people on these criterias, that you look for people who are there, while hiring, you come up with the questions where you ask about their feedback about their past experiences. You come to know that what integrity he has and how energetic he is, and then how much intelligent he is. So based on that, once you hire those people, then the real work starts. Then now I would say the investment starts, where you feed your people. So how to feed? I mean, talk to them, give them training, let them ask questions, do whatever they, if there are people who want to do something out of their skin, out of their work, allow them to do. These are the little things which makes those people relate. They can relate themselves with the company, and the day will come when they will going to own the company. And the day when they will going to own the company, that is the basically ultimate goal of an HR and of me, to get people on board, keep investing with training, giving them all the possible environment and culture where they can grow themselves. You need to build people and their careers. That's how it works. If you are ready to do this, I mean, if you get someone, ask them to get things done, that's it. That's not how it works in this world. So you have to sit with them, you have to work with them, and at times I have seen, and I have done this so many times, that you sit actually with them, with like he is sitting working on a computer and you bring your laptop and working with him. That's basically give them the motivation, and that's where they own the company. That's where you build the relationship, which is long lasting. So that's all.
वेरी नाइस. अच्छा, उसके बाद ये था कि आप जो है अब जब कंपनी बन जाती है या फिर जो है चीज़ें प्रोसेस में होने लग जाती हैं, तो किस तरह जो है आप परफॉर्मेंसेस को मेजर करना और ख़ुद की कैपेसिटी को या फिर सिस्टम को ऑप्टिमाइजेशन किस तरह करते हैं, कैसे परफॉर्मेंस को मेजर करते हैं और जो है वो किस तरह ऑप्टिमाइजेशन करते हैं कि प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़े कंपनी के अंदर, तो उसका कोई फार्मूला या फिर इसको हमने किस तरह जो है ना वीकली करना है या फिर हमने मंथली जो है ना कोई रिपोर्ट बनानी अपनी कंपनी के लिए कि हम इन एंड आउट्स क्या हो रहे हैं, तो किस तरह आप जो है परफॉर्मेंस मेजर करते हैं और उसको हम ऑप्टिमाइज करते हैं?
Basically, there are 2 different, I would say, categories where you have to make focus. One is the client side, and one is your production side, where your employee exists. Clients are basically very important, and at the end of the day, you are serving them. So, their feedback you might get on every milestone or monthly basis. Whatever your plans are, we do on a milestone basis. So you take their feedback, and that feedback actually intact with the KPIs of the employees. And that's where you learn that are your clients are happy and what sort of feedback they have, and then work on them and make them realize and make them a part of this entire process. So that basically changed the perspective of the client. That's one thing. Another thing is your employees or your production, and I would say your entire organization. You need a 360 feedback system where you take people different feedback about their superiors, and superiors give feedback about their whoever they are working under them, and then analyze them, then reward them, and then that's how it works. If someone is not performing, then at times you might have to take hard decisions as well. But that's the least I would say to keep, and once you are taking these decisions where you're making someone, you think you are not happy with his performance, try to help him. If make him success. End of the day, if he will be success, then it's the company's success, and eventually client success. 360 degree, the feedback is very important. Analyze them, and based on those data, react. I mean, someone is doing really good, promote him, and if someone is not doing good, train him. That's how it works.
Okay. जैसे कि आपने भी बोला कि दोनों चीज़ें बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, एक तो आपकी प्रोडक्शन, दूसरा क्लाइंट्स। तो क्लाइंट्स को आप लॉन्ग लास्टिंग कैसे रखते हैं, और क्लाइंट्स का हमने कैसे ख्याल रखना है, उनके लिए किस तरह हमने जो ना चीज़ों को बेहतर से बेहतर करना है?
Yeah, frankly, I would say keep up a good work. That's the bottom line. To do this, what I come up with while after I think 4 or 5 years, I came up with this idea that let's no more call our clients as a client, and call them as our partner, and bring them and make them a part of the process, which is agile these days, which you call, where the client is too much involved. Obviously, there are some consequences as well, but once you make them a part of the process, make them treat them as a partner, the things actually change. So if there is a possibility where client is failing for a thing or two, he might will realize that this decision or this failing is actually the part of the process. I mean, the company is not individually responsible. I was a part of the process. So when there is a success, this is a collective success. When there is a failure, it's a collective failure. And if there is a failure, you go extra mile as a company, because you are there to serve your clients. You have done so many times. Surprise them with their wow factors. Surprise them with a thing or two, and make them realize that we are working for them as their partners, not as just a company who has been outsourced or that's just doing their job. So to help them in their business. I have trained my people, all the project managers and product owners, in a way that they take all the responsibilities of not just the tech part, but all the business logics, monetization strategies, and functional logics and everything. So that's how you're supposed to take your client on board, make them realize that they are partners. Okay. That's the bottom line. Provide value always. I mean, this is your job to give them realize this, that's what sort of value you are giving. We started a very small service program within the organization where we offer our client that we will going to do these things, and I mean, let me more explicitly explain you. I mean, let's say for example someone looking for a software engineer or QA guy, and what as a software engineering company, what we can provide you is a software engineer. Let's say for example they're looking for .NET developer, we will provide you a .NET developer. But how you can give more value to your client, we came up with this idea. We will not going to stick with whatever we are giving to you. If tomorrow you need a graphic designer, we will go not either will probably will not going to charge you anything. We will absorb it with the hours you are giving to .NET, and somehow we will give you all those facilities. If your .NET developer need and help from my CTO or VP engineering, he can always more than welcome to see those, because we are in the same organization. So these are the things which makes them realize that this company is giving us so much value that no one else can match. So that's how it works.
अच्छा, साथ में आ जाता है फाइनेंशियली, आपने किस तरह चीज़ों को संभालना होता है, किस तरह आपने इन्वेस्ट करना होता है कंपनी में, फंड आपने कैसे रेज करने हैं और किस तरह चीज़ों का। तो इस हवाले से आप फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट के हवाले से भी बताइए कि कंपनी के स्टार्टिंग डेज के अंदर हमने किस तरह फाइनेंस को मैनेज करना होता है, कितने तरीके के हमने उसके अंदर फेजेस बनाने होते हैं, या फिर हमने किधर स्पेंड ज़्यादा करना होता है, कहाँ पे कम करना होता है। तो इसके हवाले से आपका क्या राय होगी?
Yeah, primarily I could never have raised funds like this, especially on an initial level. I mean, I took funds, but that's like 3-4 years back. Business starting 13 years back. So at that time, I invested my own money. That was not much, obviously, but somehow it started. If you ask me what you're supposed to do today, and I would say you should talk to your people, your friends, family, and that's the best way to move forward. I mean, if you're going to get any VC or investor for that matter, he will going to take a lot of stake. I have seen this. Even after so many years working in the industry for 10 years, and then when at that point, one point of a time, I was looking for funds. I raised funds, I got those funds, then at the same time I had to surrender a lot of stake in the company, which eventually I made the exit strategy, and he or that investor is no more part of the company. But once I took him on board, he gave me a lot of money, obviously, but at the same time the ROI which I was giving him was too much, and I paid the price while making the exit strategy. So I would suggest initially try to manage your funds yourself. If the worst case you don't have friends, family, anyone, you might get some loan or something, but going to an investor and giving your stake, I don't know, it's difficult to do this. And maybe you can do when you have you're part of a bigger pie. When you're part of a bigger pie, then you can do this particular investor going to multiply your business, and then it's more than happy to give those stakes or whatever they are looking for. Always makes exit strategy, because if you will not going to make your exit strategy with that particular, if you are getting a loan or you are taking money from your friends, if you are you have VC or investor, always make his exit strategy at one point of a time, because that's how it works in the real world, and I have done this. So that's how it is. Initially, when you build your company, you have to spend a lot in your production, because that is where the main value is. Even if you have to pay nothing to yourself, zero, still you pay to your employee. Try to make sure that you get right employees. Try to make sure that you fulfill the promises you are making. And at some point, if you think you cannot make those promises, just be transparent with them. I have done this in my life. When I had a month where I wasn't able to pay salaries to my employees, I talked to them. I said I cannot pay. If you want to stick with me, you can. If you want to leave, you can leave. More than 50% of the people left. But those who stood up for me at that time, they are still part of the company, and they have cars and they have whatnot, a lot of things. So that's how it works. It's two-way street. It's always a two-way street. So that's how it is. So put yourself in the spot where you think about yourself least among your employees. Then the time will come when you will going to pay a good price to yourself. So that's how it is.
अच्छा, अब कुछ थोड़ा सा जो है पर्सनल लेवल के भी, पर्सनल लाइफ के हवाले से भी हम सवाल कर लेते हैं अपनी, कि हमें किस तरह डिसीजन लेने चाहिए, क्योंकि एक कंपनी हो गई, एक हो गया एंटरप्रेन्योर को किस तरह बिहेव करना है और उसके चीज़ें कैसी होनी चाहिए। तो आप क्या देखते हैं कि एक एंटरप्रेन्योर के अंदर कौन कौन सी क्वालिटीज़ होनी चाहिए, एक लीडर के अंदर कौन कौन सी क्वालिटीज़ मस्ट हैं, और या फिर ये चीज़ें होनी चाहिए जिससे वो बेहतर कंपनी को डेवलप कर सकता है?
I would say two edge are very important. One is humble and one other is honesty. That should not be compromised. Once you will reach somewhere, then you can change your attitude based on the people you are talking to. If I am going to speak to a Prime Minister of Pakistan, my attitude will be very different. And if I will going to speak to anyone else, my attitude is supposed to be very different, right? That's how it works in the real world. I mean, if I am talking to a labor, then there is a very different way or body language. And when you are talking to your team, who is basically have, I'm talking about the people who are my people, I call them my people. So there is always a different attitude, different body language. So very humble initially, because you have to be, and very honest. There is no compromise in the honesty. Even if you are in front of your customer or your employees or anywhere, even with your VC or bank loans or whatever your plans are, even if you're raising funds with your family, always be transparent. Tell them that this sort of risk it is, and but you will going to give 100%, or I would say 200%. So that's it. I mean, very humble and honesty, no compromise on this.
अच्छा, जब आप इनिशियली आपने जैसे भी बताया कि 72 आवर्स तक आप काम करते रहे सोए नहीं, तो फैमिली नहीं इस चीज़ को कर पा रही, फैमिली को हम नहीं टाइम दे पा रहे होते, और नहीं उनके साथ बैठ के जो है ना बातें नहीं हो पा रही होती, तो वहाँ से एक प्रेशर होता है कि जो है ना पता नहीं क्या, और सोसाइटी की तरफ से एक प्रेशर होता ही है जो एंटरप्रेन्योर के ऊपर। तो उसको आप किस तरह हैंडल करते हैं, क्योंकि बातें बहुत सुननी पड़ती हैं, कभी दोस्त भी शिकवा कर सकते हैं, कभी फैमिली भी शिकवा कर सकती है, तो किस तरह आप सबको कन्विंस करके रखा और किस तरह चीज़ों को
कन्विंस करके तो नहीं रखा. The whole idea is, before coming into or taking this journey, I spoke to myself. The background I have, I had no choice. I mean, I have to decide one thing: either I am going to continue with my social life. I was a part of cricket team. I was part of a lot of things. I used to be captain. Used to be a lot of things. So I took this decision: either I have to make sure that I change my life and maybe my children's, then this is the path. This is the only path I have, read everywhere, I have seen everywhere, that you have to work hard. That's the common thing in every successful entrepreneur or a businessman or any person. I mean, if you go to, you're going to take any military reward, be a colonel or whatever, you have to work a lot, work very hard, and that's the bottom line. So I came up with this and discussed with myself that either you will going to continue with your friends, with your cricket team, and with whatever social circle you have, or you have to stop that particular things and just work on these things, because the background I have, the value of the money was too much. I mean, I would say literally too much. When my mom used to work, she used to make 3,000 rupees a month. So that sort of environment I had. With that environment, the value of the money was too hell high. So I took the right decision. Probably today I can say that I took the right decision. I stopped seeing all the friends. I stopped cricket. I stopped everything. I just worked. Apparently, when I started my business, it was just me and my mom. So I never had that sort of family I had to take care of. It was just me and my mom. And my mom was a working woman, so she understood that what is her son is doing, and how hard it is, and what sort of consequences she has to face. So she was ready. I took her on board, and we took this decision as a team. And then I worked hard. She was with me, continuous support, and then rest is the history, I believe. So
Okay.
so yes.
अच्छा, अब एक सवाल है, सबका ही होता है कि जो है ना, अब जब ये स्ट्रगलिंग फेस होती है तो इसमें ये सवाल पता नहीं आप किस तरह रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे, शादी जो है वो करनी चाहिए जल्दी?
Yeah, I mean, normally if I
इनिशियल डेज के अंदर
I think 32 is the right age. I mean, right age, I would say. But at the same time, I don't believe there is a right age. There should be a right time.
Mhm.
A time is basically where you are ready to afford someone, when you are ready to take care of that person, and whenever you think you are ready, you just do it. Whenever you think you can give her time, or maybe make her part of the business, that's what I have done. So either you make her part of your business, or maybe you are ready to give time, money, and whatever her requirements are, and you can do this marriage.
Okay.
I mean, there is no right time, right age. It's what about the right time? I have seen people. I married my first marriage when I was 30. Then it didn't work out for the personal reasons. But then I remarried when I was 37.
Okay.
So that's how it is. There is no right age, trust me.
Right time.
It's right time. You decide when you see you can fulfill her dream. She will come out from her, home. So you have to take care of her. So
Okay.
yes.
इनिशियल डेज के अंदर हम जब कंपनी कोई बिल्ड हो रही होती है तो डिफरेंट स्ट्रीम्स आपकी बनने लग जाती हैं। पहले आप किसी एक प्रोडक्ट पे फोकस करते हो, फिर सेकंड प्रोडक्ट पे फोकस करते हो। तो एक प्रोडक्ट का मैच्योरिटी लेवल क्या होता है कि जब आप बोलते हो कि अब ये मेरा प्रोडक्ट चल पड़ा है तो मैं अब सेकंड की तरफ मैं इसके बारे में सोचता हूँ, तो इसके हवाले से आपको क्या?
You don't need to think on these lines. I have never think in these lines. Time will come and you will do all these things. Trust me on this. You have to focus on one thing. When initially I started, I used to do each and everything. I started as an e-commerce, and website building, social media applications, graphic design, all these things. But actually, you don't choose a right business. A business chooses you. And that exactly happened with me. The social media application chose me at that time, that I will going to see my company's career in this, because we started getting a lot of leads of this particular category. So we started building applications on social media, a lot of thousands of. That's what we built for a hell lot of companies. I mean, the Suzuki, PayPal, Sapient, Heineken, all those big brands. We made applications for them. Then the time came that we realized that this is not working out, and we need to move with another category and more technology, which was my passion from day one. So we moved ourselves into more AI, IoT, machine learning, and all those things, big data, the enterprise content management system. So we started building everything on that particular thing. It's all happened. Time will tell you. There will be some things will come up, pop up from here and there, and then based on those you take decisions. There's nothing like that you have to look for another business. I mean, Facebook is not looking for another business, but once they saw that Instagram is going so large, they bought it. So it's automatically will come. You have to wait and watch. Primarily, your job is whatever you're doing, do with honesty, work really hard. Then the time will come when the new business or whatever thing will pop up in front of you. Then you, with your wisdom, you take the right decision.
अब हम मेरे साथ भी ऐसा है कि हमारे क्लाइंट्स ज़्यादातर यूएस यूके के अंदर होते हैं, तो आप क्या समझते हैं कि किस तरह हमने जो है वो रिसोर्सेज कैसे हमने क्लाइंट्स को हमने किस तरह जो है ना वो सेल्स को आप क्या समझते हैं? सेल्स को अगर हम बाहर से काम लेना चाहते हैं, यूएस एंड यूके के क्लाइंट्स को हम गैदर करना चाहते हैं, तो उसके लिए बेहतर अप्रोच क्या होनी चाहिए हमारी?
You should have good case studies to explain, and honesty is the key. I mean, I always believe in the honesty, so we have always mentioned what we can do, the case study we had at that point. And because since I used to work for American company, as I said, so those were the case studies for me. So I used to went on a call with the customer, with the sales guy, and explain what my experience is, what sort of profile I have, Based on that, I used to take the clients initial days. But then you have your company's profile built based on time. You create your own case studies. Be honest with them. Tell them this is what we have done. Don't promise. Don't make wrong promises or false things. Don't come give them the fake profile. Just give them whatever you are, because you have to understand this. They are very educated and they know what you're doing. So you cannot actually lie. Once you lie, then they will not going to give you a business. You might get one business. Some layman will give you a business. But in the longer run, it's not how it works. So be honest with them. Tell them that this is the team you have. Make your team's profile on LinkedIn and different places. Make PDF, send them all those case studies, and that's how we do get the business.
डिसिप्लिन ज़रूरी है एंटरप्रेन्योर की ज़िंदगी में. शुरू के अंदर तो डिसिप्लिन नहीं रहता आपके, तो डिसिप्लिन को
I would say it's still not there. I don't see that my life is even balanced. It's just a lot better. I mean, I don't really work on Saturdays, Sundays now. But discipline is something, I don't know how you define it. I mean, what do you mean by it? But if you mean that you have to balance your life, then yes, you have to. But initial level, it is difficult. You have to work really hard. As of, trust me, you have to. There was a time when I used to sleep on my laptop. So that's, you really don't really worried about anything else but your work. That's primarily your goal is. And once, see, again, I went back to the same thing which I initially, when you asked me the first question. The discipline and happiness is two different things. There is nothing like an happiness where you see that this is the goal I want to achieve.
Okay.
The entire process need to be so beautiful, so you should enjoy so much in it that you feel that this is exactly what I want. And that happiness, that motivation, that discipline, whatever you're doing, is the key. And I mean, that's how I see it. I don't know how you define the discipline, but working so hard, it itself is a discipline. I mean, you are so much, passionate about something which you are working so hard. I mean, I normally give this example. Wasim Akram is the biggest example we have. I personally believe that when he used to be in the ground and when he had the ball in his hand, that was the fun part of him. That is basically he used to enjoy. I am sure about it. If anyone can go and ask him, that is exactly what's supposed to happen with you. If you want to excel in your thing, you should enjoy what you're doing. This is the basic line. So that's how it is.
आप क्या एडवाइस करना चाहेंगे आज जो भी इनिशियल डेज के अंदर है, जो है मतलब उसने देखा हुआ है, बना उसने विजन है उसका कि जो है ना इंशाल्लाह ताला एक कंपनी बने और अच्छे से चीज़ें मैनेज हों, तो उन लोगों के लिए या उस यूथ के लिए आप क्या जो है ना वो करना चाहेंगे, एडवाइस देना चाहेंगे?
Youth who has already started this and who want to start are two different kind of people. So who really want to start, they should plan your things. Plan your things, sleep well, do exercise and whatever you want to do. Once you will going to step into it, then you won't get time for any of these things. So once you step in after the planning, which I normally say the execution phase, then it's just you and business. You have to slip with your business, you have to marriage with your business, and that is the only thing, the only way forward. And so before starting, make your, discuss with yourself that you really want to do, or maybe you can discuss with your family, friends, and whoever you think can give you a good and honest advice. Go ahead and discuss with them. But once you decide, you have understood the calculated risk, you have understood each and every consequences you might going to face, and move on. I though have made this tattoo is just for this, that move on is the key. I mean, you cannot keep and stuck yourself anywhere. You have to move on. Even, when you are talking and doing a lot of these, the people might in your family will going to think that, who basically are not, maybe I want to say this, but the people who are jealous, even in your families, they will going to tell blah 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 blah. You don't need to even respond. That's the main idea. You have to do what you are best at. Keep doing it, and that is where you enjoy. That is the happiness. That is the motivation. That is inspiration. That is your passion. So once you step in, forget everything else. Just work hard, sleep well. Before doing this, then you will not going to get a time to sleep. So make sure that when you're coming in, you make your, buckle up your shoes and then get ready for the ride.
और अब बहुत कुछ जो है वो सीखने को मिला आपसे, जो है ना, बहुत सारे सवालात और भी हैं, लेकिन मेरे ख्याल से आपका वक्त भी बहुत कीमती है, और है ना.
It was fun, it was love, and more than welcome, man. Any time. So anything, if you think I can help, just shoot me an email and we'll see.
Okay.
And good luck to you.
Thanks.
That's it.